Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hidden US Coins, now proudly known as the most trusted channel where treasures hidden in plain sight finally come to light. Today, you're not just watching another coin video. Today, you are stepping into the world of millionaire makers, where simple pocket change transforms into a treasure chest, where ordinary-looking coins shine brighter than diamonds in the auction spotlight. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise you these are not just coins. These are legends of American history, carried through time, and today they are worth big money, shocking fortunes, and unimaginable wealth. And we begin this journey with one of the most electrifying discoveries in U.S. coinage history, a Mercury dime that glitters not just with silver but with fortune, rarity, and a collector's heartbeat. First coin number 1. Imagine holding a coin so small, yet so powerful, that it can change your destiny in an instant. This is the story of 1943 with D Mercury dime, a breathtaking beauty minted during the height of World War II. The Mercury dime itself carries a heroic history. Designed by Adolf A. Weinman, this dime represents liberty, free with the stunning winged cap, a symbol of freedom of thought, courage, and progress during America's most challenging years. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, each Mercury dime holds not only precious metal, but also the soul of an era when America was fighting for global freedom. Now, why does the 1943 with D stand out as a collector's dream? Because while millions were minted, only the few that survived in exceptional condition radiate that dazzling silver shine that takes collectors' breath away. The coin I am describing today is one of those rare survivors preserved with stunning brilliance, fine condition, and a visual appeal that makes collectors fight fiercely at auctions. The unique features of the 1943 with D Mercury dime go beyond its luster. Every sharp detail of Liberty's winged cap, every letter of the inscriptions, every torch and olive branch on the reverse whispers the craftsmanship of a different age. Most circulated examples lost their beauty to wear and time, but the gem-quality 1943 with D with its almost untouched silver glow is like discovering a frozen moment of American history. Collectors crave this coin because it combines history, rarity, and beauty in one package. The conditions required to fetch high value are extreme sharp strikes, no heavy marks, perfect luster. That's why only a handful cross the threshold of greatness. And here comes the moment of pure excitement, the current market value. Ladies and gentlemen, today this coin commands nothing less than $153,000 in auction houses. Yes, you heard that correctly, this tiny dime holds a treasure equal to a fortune chest of wealth. Imagine standing at an auction, the gavel striking down, and this dime soaring past 6 figures, shaking the room with energy and disbelief. This is not just money, this is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, a coin that makes you feel like a millionaire overnight. Owning a 1943 with D Mercury dime in such condition is not just adding to your collection, it is holding the crown jewel of numismatics. A coin that can outshine any modern investment, a timeless artifact whose demand will only rise as collectors worldwide compete to bring history into their hands. For collectors, my tip is this: never underestimate the power of eye appeal. In coins like the Mercury dime, brilliance and sharpness multiply value. If you ever come across a 1943 with D, protect it, cherish it, and let professionals grade it, because even a moderately fine example can surprise you. But in top condition, it becomes nothing short of a treasure vault on its own. So, what's the conclusion for the 1943 with D Mercury dime? This coin is not just a piece of silver. It's a living legacy, a symbol of American freedom, artistry, and resilience, and above all, a financial treasure worth 6 figures. It is nothing less than a millionaire maker, a jewel of history, and a passport to unimaginable wealth. My friends, is just the beginning of our treasure hunt. Stay tuned, because the next coin on this list carries a story so rich and a value so shocking that it will make your heart race even faster. Next coin, number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself once again, because we are about to dive deeper into the shimmering ocean of American coinage. This next treasure is not just a dime, it is a rare masterpiece of history, a survivor of scarcity, and one of the most desired coins ever struck by the United States Mint. I am talking about none other than the 1926 with S Mercury dime. And if you thought the last coin was unbelievable, this one will absolutely send a chill down your spine. Let us step back in time to the year 1926. America was living through the roaring 20s, an age of jazz, innovation, prosperity, and change. Yet in the San Francisco Mint, hidden within that year's production, emerged one of the rarest dimes ever to exist. The Mercury dime, designed by Adolph A. Weinman, was already beloved for its elegance, Liberty wearing her winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, progress, and imagination. But the 1926 S issue was different. Unlike the Philadelphia and Denver mints that year, San Francisco struck a very limited number, and most of them entered circulation immediately. These coins were used, worn down, and lost to time. That is why finding one today, in fine condition with its gray and silver shade intact, is like discovering a secret door to wealth. The coin I'm describing now, the 1926 with S, carries that timeless, silver glow, still alive after nearly a century. Its surfaces reflect both history and resilience. Every tiny detail from Liberty's sharp profile to the fasces and olive branch on the reverse speaks of careful minting and powerful symbolism. But here is where the suspense builds. The 1926 with S Mercury dime is notoriously rare in higher grades. Collectors know this coin as one of the toughest Mercury dimes to locate in excellent preservation. While millions of Mercury dimes were produced across the series, the San Francisco strikes of this year were weak, poorly detailed, and heavily circulated. That means almost none survived in collectible condition. And because rarity fuels desire, the demand for this coin in fine or better preservation is sky high. Collectors from across the world compete for it, because owning the 1926 with S is not just adding to a set, it is unlocking the holy grail of Mercury dimes, the piece that completes collections and makes fortunes rise. Now, let us talk about the market. The 1926 with S Mercury dime, in the very condition I'm describing to you, today commands a staggering $177,000. That's right, one small dime, no bigger than the tip of your thumb, holds the value of a life-changing fortune. This isn't simply money. This is the kind of wealth that makes your heart race, the kind of treasure that turns collectors into legends, and the kind of coin that auction rooms whisper about long after the gavel falls. Imagine sitting in a high-profile coin auction. The bidding begins at $50,000, rises to $100,000, climbs past $150,000, and then silence, gasps, disbelief. The hammer drops at $177,000. At that moment, the collector holding this dime isn't just richer in dollars, but richer in history, richer in legacy, richer in owning a true masterpiece of American numismatics. For those who dream of finding or owning a 1926 with S Mercury dime, my advice is this: study every detail, cherish condition above all, and always look for originality in surfaces and strike. Because this is the coin that separates casual collectors from the elite. It is the coin that turns a simple collection into a treasure vault. So what's the conclusion here? The 1926 with S Mercury dime is not just a rare coin. It is a myth come true, a dazzling survivor of the 1920s, and a true king of the Mercury dime series. With its six-figure value, it is nothing short of a millionaire maker, a shining silver miracle, and a fortune pressed into metal. Next coin, number 3. Now, my friends, tighten your grip on your seat, because as we move further down this journey of hidden treasures, the intensity only grows. We have already uncovered 2 coins worth six-figure fortunes, and now, our third coin carries a story of rarity, beauty, and breathtaking value. This is the 1930 Mercury dime, struck without a mint mark, meaning it was born in the heart of the United States Mint in Philadelphia. At first glance, some might think it is just another Mercury dime. But those who know the secrets of coinage understand that this particular year and issue hides one of the most sought-after rarities in American coin collecting. Let us return to 1930. The world was on the edge of a storm. America was heading toward the Great Depression. Industries struggled, and coins were the lifeline of daily survival. Money exchanged hands countless times, and small denomination coins like the dime were heavily used. This meant that very few examples survived with sharp detail or beauty. Most 1930 dimes were spent, worn smooth, and lost in the flood of everyday life. But every once in a while, destiny preserves a jewel. And that's exactly what we have here. A 1930 Mercury dime in extra fine condition, with its gray waves, silver brilliance, and sharp artistry intact. The winged Liberty still carries its bold design, The reverse fasces and olive branch remain visible, and the coin glows with a history that feels alive even after nearly a century. What makes this issue extraordinary is not just the year or the mint, but the survival of quality. While Philadelphia produced dimes without a mint mark in large numbers, almost all were destroyed by time and circulation. Finding one in such fine condition is like discovering a treasure chest washed ashore after a century at sea survivor against all odds, and a prize every serious collector dreams of. Collectors revere the 1930 Mercury dime because of its combination of history, scarcity, and elegance. It is not simply a dime, it is a slice of American resilience during an age of struggle. Every coin like this represents not only silver value, but the story of millions of people who relied on these very pieces of currency to survive through some of the hardest years America has ever seen. Now, here comes the moment that transforms this from a simple story to pure electricity, the current market value. Today, this 1930 Mercury dime in the condition I am describing is valued at a jaw-dropping $168,000. Yes, one dime, one small silver disc, worth a fortune that could shake anyone's imagination. Imagine the scene in an auction hall. The bidding begins at $60,000. It climbs to $100,000. Collectors' hands shoot up, voices fill the room, tension rises, until finally, at $168,000 the hammer falls and silence sweeps across the crowd. One collector walks away not just with a coin, but with a treasure of history, a key to numismatic immortality and a wealth that few can comprehend. For collectors watching right now, here is my personal tip. The 1930 with no mint mark Mercury dime rewards patience and expertise. Learn to identify authentic wear patterns, original luster, and strike sharpness. Do not settle for common, heavily worn examples. Seek the gems because when you find one in extra fine or better condition, you are holding what is effectively a silver miracle, a coin that will only rise in value as the years pass. The conclusion here is powerful and undeniable. The 1930 Mercury dime is not just a rare coin. It is a living relic of America's endurance, a coin that carries both the scars and the shine of history. With its six-figure auction price, it is nothing less than a millionaire maker, a gleaming vault of fortune, and a legendary prize for any collector who dares to dream big. Next coin, number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to turn our attention to one of the most iconic coins in American history, a coin so familiar to generations of Americans that it feels like part of our DNA. And yet, as you are about to discover some examples of this humble coin hold within them, a fortune that rivals the rarest treasures ever struck in the United States. I am talking about the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. At first glance, you may think a penny? Really? But do not let its small size and simple value deceive you. This is no ordinary coin. This is a golden-shaded miracle, a survivor of history, and one of the most powerful treasures in the world of rare coins. Let's rewind to the year 1951. America was in a new era after the turmoil of World War II, moving into an age of growth, change, and prosperity. The Lincoln wheat penny had already been in circulation for decades, having first appeared in 1909 to honor the beloved President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny was more than just money, it was a tribute to leadership, resilience, and freedom. Now, here is where the magic begins. The Philadelphia Mint struck the 1951 pennies without a mint mark. Millions were made, yes, but the vast majority were used up in daily life, passed from hand to hand, worn down, damaged, and ultimately forgotten. But out of those countless millions, only a tiny handful survived in the type of condition that collectors dream about today. The coin I am describing now is one of those lucky survivors. A 1951 wheat penny without mint mark, preserved in fine condition, glowing with a golden shade across its copper surface, every detail of Lincoln's profile sharp, every wheat stalk standing proudly as if untouched by time. And that is exactly why this coin is a treasure. It is not just about its age. It is about its rarity and condition, about being one of the chosen few that has not been destroyed by time. Collectors crave this penny because it combines history, beauty, and scarcity into one. To own a 1951 wheat penny like this is to hold a masterpiece of numismatics, a crown jewel that instantly elevates a collection into greatness. The unique features are unmistakable. The obverse shows the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, crisp and bold, surrounded by the words, "In God we trust" and "Liberty," while the date 1951 anchors the design. On the reverse, the classic wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. But what makes this coin truly mesmerizing is that golden copper shade, a natural toning that gives it the look of a rare relic, a gleaming treasure hidden in plain sight. Now comes the moment of heart-pounding excitement, the current market value. Friends, this 1951 with no mint wheat penny in the condition I've just described sells today for nothing less than $184,000 at auctions. Yes, you heard correctly, 1 cent, originally meant for the smallest of transactions, today holds the power of a six-figure fortune. When the gavel comes down in the auction hall, the atmosphere becomes electric. The crowd gasps, the bidding wars rage, and the realization hits. This isn't a penny. This is a treasure chest pressed into copper. For collectors, here is my advice: never dismiss a penny. The Wheat Penny series is filled with secrets, and the 1951 with no mint is proof of that. Condition is everything. Look for coins with originality, no signs of cleaning, and sharp details. These are the coins that transform from pocket change into priceless artifacts. So, what's the conclusion? The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark is not just a coin. It is a living legend of American history, a shimmering golden relic, and a piece of treasure worth $184,000. Owning one is like holding a millionaire maker in your hand, a coin that radiates power, wealth, and history all at once. Next coin, number 5. I am talking about the 1927 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark. A simple 1 cent piece on the surface, but beneath that humble design lies a treasure that can change lives. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a single penny commanding nearly $250,000 in today's market. Let's step back to the year 1927. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing, jazz music filled the air, industry and innovation were transforming daily life, and America seemed unstoppable. In the Philadelphia Mint that year, millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies were struck, but hidden within those vast numbers, only a rare handful survived the journey of time in a condition collectors today would call extraordinary. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, had already become an American icon by 1927. Featuring the strong, thoughtful profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Surrounded by "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," it was the first widely circulated U.S. coin to honor a real person, a symbol of national pride and leadership. On the reverse, the graceful wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, a simple design that represented the country's agricultural roots and strength. Now imagine finding one of these coins not worn down by decades of circulation, but preserved in fine condition, glowing with a natural gray shade across its copper surface. That's exactly the treasure we're talking about. A survivor that stands out from the millions, carrying history in every detail yet untouched enough to shine like a relic from a lost vault. The unique features of this 1927 with no mint wheat penny make it instantly desirable. The clarity of Lincoln's portrait, the sharp strike of the lettering, and the distinct color of the copper gray toning all combine into a coin that radiates both beauty and strength. Coins like these were never meant to survive untouched, which is why collectors today will fight tooth and nail to own them. The rarity is not in its mintage, it is in its survival. Almost all 1927 pennies were used up in everyday transactions. They bought newspapers, candy, and train rides, and then vanished into the ordinary dust of history. To find one now in fine condition is like uncovering a hidden treasure chest of copper that the world forgot about. And here's the most breathtaking part. The current market value of the 1927 with no mint wheat penny in the condition I've described is a mind-blowing $232,000. Yes, over $200,000 for a coin that once sat quietly in a pocket as just a penny. Picture the scene in the auction room. The bids rise quickly, the numbers climb past 6 figures, the crowd holds its breath, and then the gavel comes down at $232,000. At that moment, this penny ceases to be a coin. It becomes a legend. It becomes a fortune sealed in copper. For collectors, here is my advice. Always study coins from the 1920s closely. Many were struck in massive numbers, but few survive in premium condition. If you ever come across a 1927 wheat penny, handle it with care, have it graded, and treasure it because you could very well be holding a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And so, what's the conclusion? The 1927 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark is not simply a piece of change. It is a historical artifact, a rare survivor, and a millionaire maker pressed into copper. Its beauty lies in its simplicity, its rarity lies in its preservation, and its value lies in its ability to transform a humble penny into a $250,000 treasure. Next coin, number 6. We've seen Mercury dimes worth 6 figures. We've uncovered wheat pennies that shocked the world, but nothing compares to the story of our last coin, a humble cent that has become a legend of fortune and history combined. I am speaking of the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it is just a penny coin that countless Americans once carried in their pockets during the final year of World War II. But today, in the right condition, this penny has transformed into a numismatic miracle worth an astounding $214,000. Yes, over $200,000 for one single cent. Let us step back into history for a moment. The year was 1945. The world was witnessing the closing chapter of the deadliest conflict in human history. America had stood strong, and its soldiers, families, and workers gave everything to secure peace. Amid this backdrop of sacrifice and victory, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Lincoln wheat pennies. They were simple copper coins, yet they were coins that carried with them the spirit of a nation in triumph. The Lincoln wheat penny, created in 1909 by Victor David Brenner, had already become an American classic by the 1940s. On the obverse, the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of leadership and unity. On the reverse, the famous wheat stalks, representing growth, prosperity, and strength. But within the 1945 issue, only a rare handful survived in exceptional condition coins that somehow escaped the wear and tear of circulation. The coin I'm describing today is one of those survivors. Imagine a 1945 wheat penny without mint mark, preserved in fine condition, its copper surface marked with soft gray waves, an old and beautiful look that only time itself could create. This is no ordinary coin. This is history made tangible, a tiny artifact of an America in victory, preserved against all odds. The unique features of this coin are mesmerizing. The strong lines of a Lincoln's profile still clear and bold, the inscriptions crisp, the wheat stalks on the reverse sharp and proud. Most examples of the 1945 cent are dull, worn, and lifeless after decades of use. But this one is alive, shimmering with a patina that whispers of age, dignity, and treasure. And this is why collectors crave it. The rarity is not in its mintage millions were struck, but in its survival in fine, collectible condition. That survival, that untouched preservation, is what transforms it into a masterpiece. Every collector knows that coins like this are the ones that define entire collections, the ones that auction houses spotlight, the ones that command headlines when they are sold. And here, my friends, is the heart-stopping moment. The current market value of this 1945 with no mint wheat penny, in the condition I've described, is a jaw-dropping $214,000. Yes, $214,000 for a single penny. Picture the auction room as the bids climb. $100,000, $150,000, $200,000, and then the hammer falls at $214,000. The crowd gasps, the collector trembles, and history is sealed. This is not just money. This is treasure rediscovered, a fortune pressed into copper that outshines diamonds in its rarity. For collectors, my tip is simple but powerful. Never ignore the ordinary. Because in the world of coins, what looks common at first glance may in fact be one of the rarest and most valuable treasures you will ever encounter. The 1945 wheat penny is proof that the smallest coin can carry the largest reward. So, what's the conclusion? The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark is not merely a coin. It is a masterpiece of survival, a golden key to fortune, and a millionaire maker that reminds us that history hides treasures where we least expect them. Its $214,000 value is not just a number. It is a testament to the power of rarity, beauty, and demand in the world of numismatics. And there you have it, my friends. From Mercury dimes to Lincoln wheat pennies, we've traveled through 6 breathtaking coins, each one worth a fortune, each one a true American treasure. These coins prove that history is alive, that wealth can hide in plain sight, and that treasures are waiting for those with eyes to see. This is why hidden US coins exist, to bring you the truth, the excitement, and the discoveries that transform simple coins into legendary treasures. Stay tuned, because this journey is only beginning. The next rare coin we uncover may be the one that changes your life forever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt into the world of rare Lincoln wheat pennies, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay updated with the most valuable coins in today's market. Your support helps us grow and bring you more hidden coin secrets.